effort to make progress towards peace in the Middle East and to implement the Bush administration's roadmap agreed to by both Israel and the Palestinians for a two-state solution. The Obama administration has recently made strong statements regarding Israeli settlements on the West Bank. Obama's Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, for example, has been adamant about America's insistence that Israel refrain from any settlement construction, including construction on the sites of existing settlements, to accommodate normal natural growth, such as adding a room to an existing home for a newborn child or a newly married couple, or to make a place for a parent or grandparent who needs family care. In his recent speech to the Muslim world in Cairo, the president stated that the United States does not accept the legitimacy of continued Israeli settlements. This construction violates previous agreements and undermines efforts to achieve peace. It's time for these settlements to stop. And in general, one often hears reference to the illegality of Israeli settlements. Are Israel's West Bank settlements illegal? Have Israeli settlements been a substantive obstacle to peace? How should Americans, and especially American Jews, view Israeli settlements? Well, the truth is, there's so much confusion and misinformation about Israeli settlements. We'd like to give you some factual information about Israeli settlements and give you a sense of the history of the way in which the United States has viewed the legitimacy or illegitimacy of Israeli settlements. And we're drawing upon the expertise of Dory Gold, an American, born in Hartford, Connecticut, a graduate of Columbia University, where he also earned his Ph.D. in Middle East Studies. And Dory Gold made Aliyah in 1980 and went on to become Israel's ambassador to the United Nations from 1997 to 1999. Currently, Dory Gold is the president of the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, an independent think tank that focuses on Israel's rights under international law. And in the midst of Obama's strong statements about Israeli settlements, two questions need to be answered. One, is the Obama administration breaking from the policies of past American administrations? And two, when the president asserts that Israeli settlement construction violates past agreements, which agreements is the president referring to? Israeli settlements on the West Bank were first created more than 40 years ago, in the aftermath of the Six-Day War of 1967, when they were used as military and agricultural outposts that were located, for the most part, in strategically significant areas which Israel planned to eventually claim. These settlements were also created in areas of the West Bank from which Jews had been evicted during the 1948 war. From the start of Israel's settlement activity, while the United States did not support Israel's policies, successive American administrations have had a very different attitude one from another and different policies. For example, after the Six-Day War of 1967, the Johnson administration was critical of Israeli settlement activity, but never characterized the settlements as illegal. In 1979, when the issue of Israeli settlements was brought to a vote in the United Nations, the Carter administration refused to vote in favor of condemning Israeli settlements. A year later, however, in 1980, Jimmy Carter decided to support a UN resolution calling for the dismantling of all Israeli settlements, and then later reversed his position again. In fact, the United States has never had a consistent policy on such questions as, are Israeli settlements a violation of international law? Are Israeli settlements a violation of agreements between Israel and its Arab neighbors, and an obstacle to further progress in any future peace talks? And to what extent does America envision Israel withdrawing completely to the 1967 Green Line border? Or does the U.S. accept the idea that Israel will retain parts of the West Bank as defensible borders and for its security needs? For many years, Washington opposed the settlements because it was felt that they were unilateral actions that prejudged the outcome of future negotiations. But American administrations have also felt the issue of settlements should be resolved in negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians themselves.